Well, $10 billion more has been set aside for round two of PPP for low-income community businesses that may have been overlooked or missed the first round of PPP funding. Our very own Fox 10's Kari Lake talks with a White House policy advisor about what's to come with this second round and how to help small businesses.
I'm so pleased to have joining me Mr. Ashley Bell, who is an entrepreneurship policy advisor at the White House. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. Good to be with you.
I'm really excited to hear more about some big news that came out of the White House today. And there's so much happening right now. This is kind of getting buried, but it's really important for small businesses out there who've been struggling and maybe weren't able to get the full benefit of the PPP. So let us know, if you would, what happened today and how this is going to help small businesses.
Absolutely. This is a historic day. The president has been laser focused at making sure that as we roll out these resources, that every American is able to take advantage of them, especially when it comes to small businesses, which are the backbone of our economy. Today, we announced that $10 billion will be set aside outside of the normal constructs of the Payroll Protection Program and dedicated specifically to community development financial institutions, CDFIs. And let me tell you why that's important. That's important because the smaller businesses, the women and minority-owned businesses that haven't been able to take advantage of PPP, many of those challenges that they have are around not having banking relationships, not having the technical assistance to know how to access these funds. By delegating this authority and these funds to CDFIs, we're going to make sure people have the technical assistance and the access to capital to survive this economic crisis.
So give me a hypothetical, Mr. Bell, of a business example and how they would go from kind of struggling right now to getting this help in steps.
Right. This is a great time to talk about that. When you have a business that because they can't open their doors because of COVID or their town hasn't opened up yet, and they need to find a way of making sure their employees can come back, but they aren't bringing in any revenue. So this program is dedicated to making sure that you will have cash liquidity to be able to pay your employees as you ramp back up. So if you get your PPP loan right now, you're getting ready to open your doors, you're understanding how to maintain safety of the people who are coming in and your employees, this gives you the cash to make sure they're on the payroll, that they're making the exact same amount of money they were making before this crisis, to give you time to ramp up and get your business back and going. That's why it's important. And it's going to hit a lot of those businesses who just can't afford to pay someone else to deal with this. This is for that CEO that's also the secretary, the janitor, and every other hat that they wear. So this is for those folks who need a little help, who wear so many hats to provide the goods and services in your community in Phoenix.
So we've seen a lot of businesses that are bigger. They've got a long relationship with the bank. They employ a lot of people getting these big loans. This is more so for a small business. Maybe they employ a few people or a dozen people, but they don't have perhaps the credit history or a relationship with one of the big banks. Is that what I'm hearing?
And this is an asserted effort of the president to make sure that small businesses their funds are not commingled with big businesses. Because what we've seen is that larger corporations have come in and they're taking a lot of the cash, but we want to make sure that these funds are protected. So it doesn't matter what the larger businesses do. These funds are dedicated to CDFIs who are serving low-income areas across the country. And I think these are areas that the president has paid distinct attention to across the country when it comes to opportunity zones. These are those areas that we know if they get access to capital, they can thrive. And so by protecting this money and keeping it in a separate pot from the big banks and the big companies, we're able to make sure that this money reaches those that need it and they don't have to fight with big business to get it.
You use the acronym CDFI, Community Development Financial Institutions. Give me some examples of what those are, because I think people, when they're thinking PPE, they go, okay, you go to Chase Bank or your local regional bank. Are these banks?
Well, the CDFIs can be small banks. Many times there are organizations in your community that can help with low-income housing. They can be conduits for low-income loans. They're community organizations. And so in every community, you're going to have CDFIs. They're mission-based, which means they were solely created to deal with the underserved populations in your community. So they're not like most banks. A bank is going to be someone that's in the business to lend money regardless of who comes in. CDFIs are mission-based, and we think that's what's important right now because we have a mission. And that mission is to make sure that the forgotten communities are not forgotten. So we have to work with mission-based institutions that understand that have it in their DNA. That way, by giving them access to these resources for the very first time, that we know that these resources are going to reach the people that need it the most.
So the whole point of this is to make sure when we come out of this, that some of these smaller businesses, maybe minority-owned businesses, woman-owned businesses, small businesses survive. They can get through the next few months,
right? This
remain standing.
Absolutely. This is the president remembering those at the last of the line. The reason you saw such a furious uptake in the money in the first round of PPP, because everybody wanted to be first in line, but nobody was really thinking about who would be last. And I think this president's thinking about who was going to be last. And so this designation for CDFIs is thinking about those that are the last to be able to take advantage of this because they don't have the technical resources or the ability to get access to these funds. And so by thinking about them and making sure that they don't have to fight in that same line with everyone else, that they have a designated pot of money that's just for them, adds a comfortability to the marketplace, empowers our CDFIs, and make sure that if those who are watching tonight and they say, look, I really could need these funds to open back up. I wish I had an opportunity for someone to show me how to do this. CDFIs are technical assistance centers as well. Your local bank may not be able to do that. They may not walk you through everything. They'll just ask you for the documents and hope you have them. CDFIs will walk you through this step by step. That's what's important.
They'll kind of hold your hand and say,
Absolutely.
We see your need and let's get you to where you're getting that money. If I'm a small business and I listen to this interview and I say, I think this is for me, what's my next step, my first step, my second step? Help me walk through.
Well, you want to go to SBA.gov and then click on the Arizona link. That way you can find out every SBA lender, including CDFIs, right in your community.
Okay, and is it pretty simple? I mean, for somebody who maybe isn't tech savvy or doesn't have a lot of time, or is this something that you need to carve out good old day and a half to get through?
Well, I think the first step is your first step. You want to make sure you reach out to SBA.gov. You want to make sure you contact a local CDFI or your SBA office. The reality is that this crisis right now, a lot of people are figuring out how to survive. They got a lot of challenges in front of them, from homeschooling kids to figuring out how to keep their friends and their clients safe. But the reality is, if you take that first step, a CDFI is the best suited institution to go every step of the way with you until you get the resources you need. And that's why this president made it a priority to make sure they had the funds so you can have the funds.
And one final question, Mr. Bell, is this money that needs to be paid back and it'll be at a low interest rate? Or is this money that, if all the requirements are met, doesn't need to be paid back?
Well, the goal is for this money to be used to support employees and to pay your expenses for 8 weeks during this crisis. If you use the money wisely and make sure that people are employed and you pay your rent, your interest rate, your interest and your insurance, then 100% of this is forgivable. And that's the goal. We want everyone to use these funds in a forgivable fashion so that you don't have any additional debt. And as Congress and the president work together to come up with further steps to recover this economy, that you'll be in the best position to succeed. All
right. Mr. Ashley Bell with the White House Entrepreneurial Policy Advisory Group. I appreciate your time today in helping us walk through this, and I'm hoping that it helps some people save their businesses through this difficult time.
I think it did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And don't forget, for more information on how to sign up right now for the Forgivable Loan Program, head to SBA.gov.